Okay, well, I'm back on track. Burned a little bit of my garlic, but that's okay. Just gonna add into the taste. Now I just need to reheat this. This is defrosted, so it'll actually start working well. As soon as the oil starts warming up again, put my cubes as separate as I can. Or just dump everything in here, worry about separating it afterwards. Now don't worry about the fat, because you will be well, in my case, I don't worry about the fat because, trust me, the amount of time that you let it cook is actually enough to set the fat into the actual mixture. Now these are bigger bite-sized morsels. In fact, they're a little bit bigger than what I anticipated. So that's a fail on my behalf, but what you can do is easily take one of the pieces, take the pieces when they're thawed, and if you're not squeamish with meat, cut them into smaller chunks so you can actually have them cooked. But since everything is going to be boiling, it doesn't really matter at this point. Now, while this is cooking, I'm going to transport you guys over here. I've started doing the flatbread recipe. Now, here's what you're going to need. Okay, this is French. Don't be scared. I'll translate. It's called ploy. It's an Adawaska tradition, and you need 2 teaspoons of, or 2 tablespoons of buckwheat flour. Okay, you can find buckwheat flour pretty much anywhere they sell any natural foods. Your health food store may be able to order it too. You'll need milk. I use 2% because it has a higher fat content and it helps do proper binding. It also gives it more creaminess to it. You'll need, in this case, because I used 3 times this amount, you just augment it in 3s, more or less. You'll need 3 pinches of baking soda, which I have to bring out in a few moments. And then you have to have your water boiling at a high rolling boil, preferably in a kettle so you hear it. But it starts whistling, it's ready. And you do this very slowly, and you do it at medium flame, but we'll come back to this when it's ready. And meanwhile, back to this. Doesn't have to be completely brown. Okay, you just need to have most of your meat cooked from raw to at least pinkish, and then you can start adding in the water. Remember what I told you about the rutabaga? Don't know if you can see it well, but there's about this much that you have to remove. The skin, okay. This particular portion right here, and you skin it all around. Now you can add beans to this. You can add wax beans, string beans. You can add any vegetable that you think that will go well with beef. Now's the next part. Throwing these babies in with this. I added water because you don't want your potatoes to turn a different color. So, here's the interesting part. You'll need water to cover all the vegetables. Okay. So, preferably you'll want warm water, or you can use cold water. If you use cold water, it'll let everything boil back up, so nothing gets overcooked. Perfect. Now, here's where you can use what you want in regards to the actual recipe. I want to give it some color, so I'm going to be using some curry powder. And you can do this throughout the whole time that it's cooking without really worrying anything. Because I'm a fan of vegetable spices. This one is a generic brand bought at Costco. I don't have the exact name, but it has a tremendous flavor to it, and it just adds complexity to your dish. You don't need to add much. Remember the law of a little bit goes a long way with pretty much everything. And if it still doesn't suit what you want in regards to a taste, whoops, you try it again. A bit of basil. I'm a big fan of basil. And a little bit of sage. You'll need to get it back to high boiling, so we will leave it on high heat until it starts boiling again actively, and then when it's finished boiling, or when it started boiling, let's see if I can bring you guys back up. There we go. You'll want to set your dial from max to at least 3, 2, or 1, but you'll have to check how this reacts, because if it boils too much, you'll disintegrate your vegetables. And the whole point is that you want it marinating for a while. This tastes better when you do it at slow cooker. It really does. But you can do this as in a pinch within a matter of 30 minutes, 45 minutes. If your vegetables are all ready and everything is done the night before, you can easily do the cooking. Okay? While this is boiling, we're going to move on to the next step, doing the flatbread.